Video number 2 in the program review. I am going to be talking about Carter again. I want to focus on his bench today and then what we have been doing this block and then as well as the 2 blocks before that since his competition. So we just wrapped up this block for his primary bench at least with some pretty big wins. We had a 320-pound double we can see is not logged, but it is there in my WhatsApp. I can see the video. Maybe I'll even share it with you guys. So Carter actually ended this block off. I pulled all his load caps on bench because he was looking super good this whole time. He had some travel over the weekend, and we still pulled out 320 for a double. That is his competition PR, and he actually hit that after doing 315 for a double because he thought that was probably where he was going to land. It ended up moving super smooth. I'd say maybe RP7, RP8 at most. So we went ahead and sent it. I got the video, saw the 320, super pumped. What we've been doing to get there is focusing on his weak spots, but then also just giving him more comp bench. Carter's a pretty efficient bench presser, so if you really watch him, you'll notice that there's not too much he really needs to change on his bench press. For that reason, you can see here on his primary bench press, we have comp bench. We have a little bit of close grip pin press. He kind of slows down at lockout. Over here on the secondary day, close grip, 2 count sink bench. So this one's going to be pretty challenging for Carter with that close grip where he really struggles in lockout, that pause again, and then that sink. So Carter's a soft touch bencher. So really getting that bar just as low as we can on that sink with the close grip is going to really challenge his chest and shoulders, get them a little bit lower than they have been. Obviously that close grip too, challenging the triceps closer up to the top. On his tertiary day over here, you can see that 320 tempo bench. I love having just an easy primer bench for that tertiary. I like it 2 days out from the comp bench. You can see here he's got that on Saturday, rest Sunday, Monday, going to that unlogged competition bench. That's his primary movement. So I'm going to share this whiteboard. This is where I wrote out these last 3 mesos. I'm going to put a picture up of it on the screen so that you can actually see without relying on this tiny little camera in the back. So up here we can see, try to make that a little bit bigger. Hopefully it shows up all right. This is what Carter's last 3 blocks have looked like. So this mesocycle has been consisting of 3 blocks, and you can see this transition on his primary bench press up here, this bench press 1, where we're going to start with 3 count pause bench. Gonna have a top triple. These are all his week 4 heaviest weights that he completed. So top triple, we made it to 275, 3x5 for back downs. See a pretty decent amount of volume here. He's got a pin press after this primary bench as his second exercise. And then on his secondary bench press, we're going to run that 2 count close grip sink, starting off with that pretty high volume. So top set of 5, 2x8 back downs. Didn't bother putting the weights in here. I don't think it's quite as important since it's just there to help build and contribute to that primary bench press. Then for his tertiary day over here, we've got, again, that higher volume, a little bit longer eccentric, one of 4-2x tempo. So 3x4 over here. Block 2, we kind of transition, start tapering that volume down just a little bit. So going from that top triple down to a top double, still running the 3 count pause. Actually ended this one up considerably higher with 305. So 30-pound jump there, I would say is pretty good just for knocking 1 rep off. Probably got a little bit stronger, got that fitness level back up since he was coming off a competition here. He probably was a little detrained coming into this block 1. So pulling his back downs down to a 3x4 instead of 5s, and then just knocking some reps off on that secondary bench here. We can see going from a top 5 to a top 4, and then 2x6 back downs instead of 8s. I like shortening that tempo up a little bit once we get closer to trying to push some heavier weight. So 3-2x here, as well as 3x3. So get rid of that extra rep. Um, get rid of that extra eccentric time. really just get him primed. This day is going to be a little bit heavier than in these block ones. Um, so he should be feeling pretty good going into his competition bench on his primary days. So block three, we just wrapped this one up for his bench at least. Competition bench, so we moved from that 3 count down to the comp bench. I don't think Carter needs to be away from comp bench very often, so even that 3 count pause is super close to his competition bench. Spent 8 weeks on it. Now it's time to come back to that comp bench, throwing him right into a double, seeing how well he can beat that double and 3 count pause. Ended up going amazing. So 320 here. This was his competition max when he competed 13 weeks ago now. So super stoked about that. Before he even hit this 320, I think I already mentioned it. He did take 315 and it moved pretty well, but I would say still, if he didn't take that 315 before, that 320 would have moved even better than it did. So really can't complain about that at all. Super happy with that so far. Um, 2x5 back down, so we drop off a set here to try and prime him up. We do increase his accessory pressing volume, so for this primary bench day, his second press is going to be that pin press. In this block one and two, we were going 2 sets, so now we have 3 sets over here on this block three for his accessory pressing on primary day. For his secondary bench day, we're just going to repeat this 2 count close grip sink. I love this variation for him. It's super challenging. Um, I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I do think that we ended this week 4 20 to 30 pounds heavier than he was able to do for his week 4 in that block two. So obviously we're doing something right there. And then for that tertiary bench, again, this is just a primer. This is really just skill practice. I'm never really as worried about progressing this as much. I think we still ended up beating his block two weights by a little bit, but again, that's not really my biggest concern because as we can see, huge PR here, big PR here. I didn't write down, but I've been super happy with how Carter's bench has been going, and I think I learned a lot from his meet prep and from these last 3 blocks. And I'm just super excited to see where we go in the next mesocycle, see what he can put up. If we step on the platform soon, or even if that's an off-season peak, I'm just really excited to continue training him. Thanks for listening.